Hello and welcome to a special edition of the Seth and Gentry Show. We are here at the Georgia Dome Friday, the day before the SEC Championship game, biggest game in 30 years for Georgia football. Would you agree, Gentry?
Yeah,
Definitely agree.
yeah, definitely. It's kind of exciting. They're getting everything ready here. I guess whoever did all the stuff on the field probably worked all night, but got the logos.
Because the Falcons were here last night. We were here last year, Gentry, but just a completely different kind of feeling, right?
I'm going to say completely different. I still think that Georgia, like last year, is the underdog. I think most people here think Alabama's going to win this game. And from watching the two teams, they both had light workouts. As media, we were able to watch about 15 minutes of it. And both teams seemed pretty loose. I mean, they didn't really do a whole lot. But Alabama struck me as the kind of team that was not wowed by this moment at all. They didn't even really raise an eyebrow at this whole experience.
And Georgia won't be either, but the question is whether when Alabama gets out there and whether Georgia will have any awe factor. And that's, you can't predict that. You don't.
No, and Alabama's just, they're big. Yeah, that is a big team. When you see them, it is similar to LSU last year to me. I thought LSU was that way too when I saw them. And so definitely some different stakes from last year as a kid when you're talking about Georgia, but I'll be honest, it does have a similar feel. It doesn't mean, to me, it doesn't mean the result's going to be the same, but on Friday it does.
It just seems different. I mean, last year, obviously, Georgia was here to play spoiler, and it was new to be here for this venue, but it also wasn't the first time they were here, because it was the Boise State game, whereas this year, in both senses, though, it's not this kind of triumphal feeling, because you come in as underdogs. I don't know, but the feeling of, like, the BCS championship being the backdrop, obviously that's completely different this year. I don't get a sense that Georgia's caught up in that moment either, because I'm not really sure it's real to them.
I agree with that. It doesn't. It's come so fast that,
I mean, if they somehow win this game tomorrow night, they're going to all of a sudden go, whoa.
Well,
we're going to Miami.
I don't think there's anybody on Georgia's team who's going to be looking past Alabama and Notre Dame, and maybe Alabama's case you could say they could do that, but I just think with everything there is to play for, Georgia will be ready to play. I think they'll play well tomorrow.
I think so, yeah.
And I think they'll throw their best game out there, but I think the team they're going to be playing is going to be ready to play too, and it's going to be a really, really hard-fought game.
In lieu of doing a picks column, which I do every week, I'm not doing it this week just because everything that's going on. We'll just finish this up by breaking down kind of what we expect and why we think it'll play out that way, what the keys will be. I have predicted Alabama 24, Georgia 20, so Georgia covers the spread. But I could see it going so many ways. I think Georgia, because of its explosive offense, might be the team, if there's a blowout in this game, the team more likely to be on the better end of that. But I can still see Alabama rolling over them. I can see it being a shootout. I can see a lot of things happening. I think Alabama's most likely to win. But I think Georgia has a shot here. But it's like Gary Danielson said, we still don't know too much about Georgia. Are they the team that got blown out at South Carolina? Or are they the team that beat Florida?
Well, it's similar. I mean, I would like to sit here and give an opposing opinion, but I'm looking at it almost the exact same way. You look at this game and you say, gosh, I want to pick Georgia. I think it could happen. I think Alabama's vulnerable. I think they're not playing as well as they were this time last year. But it's Alabama. It's Nick Saban in a game like this, and since he has been there, they have an extremely good track record of being ready to play in big spotlight games like this. They're not going to give it away. Georgia's going to have to go win this game, and they're going to have to take it. And could Georgia be good enough to do that? Absolutely. It would not shock me at all in the least to see Georgia win this game. But Alabama's just the safer
Arguably, Georgia has the better talent, more NFL-ready talent. You could argue they have the three best players on the field between Ogletree, Jarvis, and Aaron Murray. But, man, Alabama's a machine. So it's just going to be a pretty fascinating game to watch. We don't know. Big shout out, Jonathan Branch. Thank you very much for holding the camera for us. And check out all of Gentry's coverage of Dogs 24/7 tomorrow and mine on the Macon Telegraph. See you tomorrow.